All right, in this video, we're going to be fixing this rust spot in the wheel well of my vehicle. This is a Nissan Pathfinder, but it doesn't really matter what kind of vehicle it is. This kind of repair is for your daily driver and not for an expensive vehicle. If you have a classic vehicle or something that's worth a lot of money, perhaps invest in a professional doing full body panel repairs. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a wire wheel on a drill and then just wire wheel off all the rust that I can see and a little bit of the existing paint. So I want to go beyond the rust, vertically, and through the rust preferably, so that when I go and use Bondo, it's got something to bind to, and I'm all the way up onto actually not rusted metal. The next thing I'm going to do is take some sandpaper and give this an additional buff down. I do come back with the wire wheel off camera and go at it a little bit more, but I don't do too much more. And for the sandpaper, sort of similar to the wire wheel, I go a little bit beyond where I went with the wire wheel. So a couple centimeters higher, and then that's about it. Once I got that done, I do have this degreaser dewaxer formula that I'm going to just throw on an old rag and then wipe down the area before I go and start doing some Bondo work. I do go pretty high with the paint once I start going at it, but for the Bondo and the primer, I keep it pretty localized to the area that is damaged. For this type of Bondo, it comes with a hardener. In this case, the hardener is blue, and I use my high-tech tools of a piece of cardboard and a stick to mix it all up. The stick turns out to not be the greatest because some of the bark actually falls off into the Bondo, but it was nothing I couldn't deal with, so no big deal. And Bondo sells these plastic scraper things, and they cost about $4, and I think you get 3 of them in the package. So they do a good job of allowing you to smooth out the Bondo. You do need to work fairly fast because the Bondo sets up fairly quickly. I believe it hardens in about 30 minutes or so. So you can't just sit here working the Bondo for an hour trying to get a perfect Bondo on your first shot. Now to sand the Bondo, I'm using 180 grit. This is probably where you might want to start thinking about putting on a dust mask. Because I'm working with such a small area and I'm not really creating too much sanding dust, I don't really worry about it right now. Later in the video, I do start using a mask though. And really you want to focus on those edges so that they're feathered in to the vehicles so that you don't have abrupt hard shoulders that you're going to be able to see through the paint. Now instead of using normal Bondo, I'm going to use this glazing putty. It's also a Bondo product, so technically it is Bondo, but it goes on thinner and it's used for smaller pinholes or smaller scratches as compared to regular Bondo. Now for the glazing putty, I sand that with some 320 grit. And again, really focusing on the part of the Bondo where the Bondo meets the fresh paint on the vehicles to make sure that I've got a really smooth transition and don't have a really hard edge. Continually wiping it down and using that wax remover. And now I'm ready to start primering this thing. So you can see I'm only primering the localized area. I also found that I didn't put enough tape on, so there was quite a bit of overspray on this. And pretty straightforward. I do this in about 3 coats over the course of about 25 minutes, and that is pretty much it for the primer. Pretty easy. I would wear some sort of a dust mask when you're doing this. Because I was doing such a small area, I just held my breath for the 30 seconds that I was painting, but obviously using a mask would be the preferable solution here. So I'm going to take off the tape, and the can says to let this dry for an hour before sanding it down, but I just let it dry overnight, so it has plenty of time to dry and set up. Anyway, that's what it looks like for now. So far, so good. Pretty easy job. Now, after letting the primer set up overnight, I come back with some 800 grit sandpaper. It is a wet dry sandpaper. I then use a soap and water mix and spray down the primer area and then just sand it down with the sandpaper, really focusing on that transition between the primer and the sort of the paint clear coat. This is the factory paint job on the car. And then in between sanding, I just use some old rags to wipe it down. And really I just do this until I'm satisfied that it's smooth and that there's no bumps, divots, or any imperfections in the primer coat. And just off camera, I obviously taped it up and put a whole bunch of plastic down so that I don't get overspray on the hood or on the lights, that kind of thing. And then I've taken a garbage bag and I've covered the wheel. For this, I'm not even using a color match. I'm just using something called Universal Black, and it is semi-glossy. And you can see that I'm going wide with the paint and that I've also sanded a little bit higher, and that'll help ensure that the paint bonds to what would have otherwise just been straight vehicle clear coat, and I do 4 coats of the black paint. In between the coats of the black paint, I let it dry for a minimum of 10 minutes, probably closer to 15 in most cases. And somewhere along the line, I do have to go out and get another can of the black paint because I ran out in the process. Once I've done the final coat of black spray paint, I need to let it dry for a full hour, and then I come back with this clear coat, and I'm going to do 4 coats of the clear coat. And it's the same deal for timing as the paint. It's 10 minutes in between coats of the clear coat. And I do go pretty heavy. The big thing is that you don't want to go so heavy that it starts to run or slump. So if it looks like you're about to start running, you need to stop spraying in that area and then just let it set up. I would say if it does run, you're going to need to wait for a while and then sand it. Not necessarily start from scratch, but definitely a re-clear coat. So just be careful that you don't get any runs or slumps in the clear coat. As long as you don't go crazy with how much of the clear coat you put on, honestly, very easy to do. Obviously, sanding your vehicle is a bit intimidating, but doing a rattle can spray job in the front yard is very achievable. Now, I waited 24 hours to sand this clear coat down, and the first sandpaper grit I'm going to use is 1500 grit. Technically, you should be waiting about 3 to 5 days, I would say, before sanding the clear coat. In my case, though, it's going to start raining for the next week, so I'm just going to get it done. And honestly, I found that this turned out pretty well, even though I really didn't wait for the full cure time on the clear coat. The second grit of sandpaper I use is 2000 grit, and again, just using the soap and water throughout. And really, my primary area of focus is that transition piece between the new paint and clear coat and the factory paint and clear coat. So there's a little bit of a ridge line where I had the painter's tape. Obviously there's going to be that transition. So that's the primary area of focus. I want to get that down and smooth. And then the last sanding I'm going to do is with some 3000 grit. Now I do a little bit more sanding than what I'm showing on camera. I actually use the 2000 grit and do the whole area twice. And I think I did the whole area twice with the 1500 as well. So I did do quite a lot of sanding throughout this process. Now I'm going to do a compound. I do have a rotary compounding tool for my drill, which I picked up at Canadian Tire, but I'll put some links. I'll try and find one for Amazon as well. And I end up doing 2 coats with the compound, and pretty simple. Just make sure that you always have compound on the sponge and then just keep the sponge moving. The only thing that you need to watch out for is that you don't burn right through the clear coat. That'd be very bad, but I've never had that problem occur. I'm sure that it could happen though. And then obviously I'm just taking a cloth to wipe off all the compound. And like I said, I did do 2 coats with the compound, but for this polish, I only did 1 coat. And this goes on the same way. I'm using a softer sponge. The compounding sponge was a red one, and it's significantly harder than this yellow sponge. But other than that, the process is the same. Make sure that you keep enough of the polishing compound on the foam, and then once again, ensure that you don't burn through the finish. Keep the sponge moving, and honestly, it's pretty easy to do. And then the last step I'm going to do here is a wax and polish. And just like the Karate Kid, you wax on, you let it sit for a little while, and then take a cloth and wax off. And all the polishing products I'm using in this video are Maguire brand products. I'm not loyal to that brand, it's just what I'm using. Once the wax sets up for about 5 minutes, just come back around with a clean cloth and wipe it down. And overall, I would say the results of this process were pretty good. Again, it's a front yard rattle can spray paint job, so perfection is unlikely, but even using a black that isn't actually a factory match, it's just universal black, I think it turns out really well. And obviously that rust spot is totally disappeared. There are spots where I can see the transition between the 2 paint jobs, the old paint job and the new paint job, but generally speaking, it's blended pretty well. So you can see right along the ridge here is where the 2 paint jobs join, and generally speaking, you cannot see it. So I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. Overall, a pretty fast and easy job to do, and definitely it'll get that rust out of your wheel wells and make your vehicle look a lot better. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.